this that person for over 2 years since the taking place. And today I have 4 tasks. 1, to ensure the quality uniform of our officers. I say we appreciate your service. Number 2, to remove those who have fallen in the line of duty. Number 3, to bring additional knowledge to the list. And I'll let you know when you're reading the list, because at least knowledge that before, only for reading a little bit, so we come our speaker, and of course, the speaker. The primary purpose of today's gathering is thank you for your service. Your work is never been more critical. Knowledge, dedication. These are difficult times. You were in a badge. Your passing attendance has carried one member of our emergency to go on right along with St. Hudson. He loves when I was probably he's really excited. He's actually graduated from their Citizens Academy too, so we appreciate that. We have another member who's retired to Chicago for relative long-line sessions of police in the United States. What happens? The members of the executive team of the graduate school, we have meetings once a month. And prior to the meetings, all kinds of stuff come up, and also police comes up. We had some pretty intense discussion about police in the United States, which is another reason why we have this meeting.
Put your head away from the activity. Hold your hand high on the mic. There you go.
Okay, now discussion about police in the United States, for the community leaders to hear from you and have an opportunity to ask questions. And it will be time for you to speaker's presentation, last question. Now, there are about 800,000 law enforcement personnel in the United States. There are about 1 million firefighters in the United States, 2/3 of them being volunteer firefighters. Statistically speaking, within a day, 1 or 2 police officers somewhere in the country will go to work, will not get home to a life of free dead. That statistic was higher in 2021. 625 line of duty deaths in 2021. And during this period in the last few years, 61 of the 625 were federal law enforcement officers, which we don't hear much about, and I'm surprised that the statistic is correct. I also should note that every 2 days, a firefighter will die in the line of duty in the United States. Meaning you need more firefighters and COVID will help out, added to all these numbers, and hopefully as time goes by, we get past that. Now, before we get my comments on the Communication Corporation, I would ask you to join me in a moment of silence for all of the service that have died in line of duty. Thank you. The branch proposal of 10 meetings a year, and this is very growing. We have for the last 2 years all been online with Zoom. And this is very growing. We have seen future governors, future county executives, prominent business people, teachers, medical doctors, college professors, high school principals, ministers, and even ministers have sat in these same chairs spoken to us. But this meeting is especially because graduate school, public safety officers, and general community all need each other to get the job done. What is that job? The job is the safety and pursuit happiness for all members of the community. Every school week, despite COVID, members of the graduate school were in local schools providing prevention to young males so they know to be part of the criminal side of the criminal justice system. Cooperation and communication is needed to go. By the way, there will be no recruiting within this on this room. We're way small, way past that. Some people are saying, damn, we go already. We don't always see cooperation as a recent news report online and negative interaction. We treat the police as more like risk. So that's the kind of headlines we don't want to see. The kind of communication that we want requires trust, and you're here today because the purpose group because you see a lot about this tracking officers for some time now. Could use community support. It's that kind of interaction that is happening on the other side and one part side. And I actually take a look around. In this room of the blue guys, we have some individuals that appreciate your work. I understand that we may not always agree on how to get that work done, but our goals are the same. Safe streets, safe communities for all. Be good citizens. We understand everything what you do, the law, the morals, and the practice of the morals are testimony to that. Lastly, all these specific goals that represented being around the town. On TV, review the transactional, outside, leading other office application, assistance needed, helping officer of some word in the city of Washington, District South. 5 service personnel simply wanted to learn simple CPR. Never say, know how to talk to the dispatcher, by 9/11, and get out of the way when you see the gear that responding to an emergency or we have stationed the scene and training aids. I had a conversation with one of my neighbors just recently. We had a medical emergency, I know what it was, 5 times spot on the street. The neighbor wanted to know why he could be around my town. Because it's Southwest Louis Street, West Seattle, it's so wrong, you know. So have you ever tried the federal fire truck? Doesn't work very well. Yeah, you cannot, supposed to see a check, imagine trying to move a fire truck down Queen Anne Hill in the snow and ground. We of the breakfast road understand the additional pressure of you to do your job. You understand that staffing, as I've spoken to a couple folks already, it's at a critical level and not getting better. Start with she's saying that it might take 5 years. Let's see if you back where it should be. 5 years. Probably 600, 800. New kinds of problems you will carry that. When I say that, it's the police, fire, sheriff's department, state patrol, corrections officers, federal, the whole deal. So my purpose is sign on this information. I talked to a correctional officer who had a different kind of problem. So he wasn't trying. I'm sorry. Had a different kind of problem. She is a senior officer at one transgender inmate who demands to be transferred to the women's prison. You go for your handbook, there's no response to that. What do you do if you have a drunk driver hit somebody at a bridge in Seattle who's car broken down and knocks that person into the water? And nobody knows where he is. And it took me combined efforts of Seattle Fire and Seattle Police to find that driver who was deceased at the scene. I had on my same street, I had a neighbor who had a heart attack. And SFP was there in a heartbeat. And knowing that when you call 911, you need service. And then this starts to smash it up. First of all, what is the nation you call? The second is going to be, where are you? You recently saw in the news about that small grass. Somebody not thinking better to a rowboat in Lake Washington with two kids. I think it was one kid, and the boat basically capsized because it was too much water. And they sent the harbor department, harbor patrol, see the police department, they rescued the folks. And the boat was just bouncing, boat was just bouncing all over the place. Fire department, two things: fires, explosion, homes, and cameras. I am pretty sure when we went to the fire academy, that was not in the book. How we handle that. These challenges will continue, but we thank you for showing up each day. Members of the public safety committee, we know we don't take work, receive praise, but when thank you is in order, the prep school, this members will be the first to say thank you. The public wants well-trained professionals, public safety personnel who respect all that they serve. Public safety personnel want the community to respect them and the work that they do. Definitely is an issue. Now, talk about training. We start this is where parents who members people listen up. Because most of you don't know how someone becomes a police officer in the state of Washington. It's not a matter of some cheap, some of you raise your hand, I had a badger. Before a police department or sheriff's office can hire an officer or deputy, that candidate is screened by that police department and screened by the sheriff's office. After intense screening, which takes a lot of years, by the way, after intense screening, the testing and evaluation, the recruit is sent to Maryland to find his place, but several months to be certified. The certification of a police officer does not come from a local police agency. It comes from the state of Washington. They determine that person's eligibility to be a police officer or sheriff's officer, sheriff's deputy, in the state of Washington. Once they receive the certification of their group, then they are sworn in as a police officer with sheriff's office, police department officer with sheriff's office. By the way, the state patrol only can be done here. After certification, the recruit is assigned a series of appeals for 1 year. And after a successful appeal growth, that recruit is considered a full-fledged officer and deputy. 75% of people who apply to become a police officer never make it through all that. Doesn't happen. Approximately 60% never get to find this position because it's not a matter of being a top Marine under Marine Corps or something like that. It's a matter of having certain skills to be able to do the job. Jobs to train. Now, fourth point, introducing our speaker. On June 30th, 2021, Alexander was appointed unanimously by the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission after a nationwide search. Alexander will now be tasked with training the new generation of guardians of democracy. The change of the continuing guard is taking place in the midst of a national reckoning on the role of policing in our divided country. For the start of her career, she's been a trailblazer. You know that Monica used to be a flight attendant before becoming a captain in the West State Patrol. Now, the question is, based on what's happening at flight today, was flight department training help you become an officer, or does officer help you become a flight attendant? Anyway, her career was not the same career. And prior to being a flight attendant, she was taught office, and here's the line from one owner. She surely did not come up the typical ranks, and she would make it fast. Police officers come up. However, the knowledge and people skills she gained on respective careers led her smoothly into the new career. She knew there had been ways to forge confident connections between police and the public. ways to avoid authentic, positive police in the public, which is what we all want. After she made her home in Washington, Alexander tried to launch state proposed debt in 1996. Remember that? Well, that's at the time, she was a single mom with a 3-year-old son, who she credits as her inspiration throughout her groundbreaking career. Now listen to this information. What is the same problem with Microsoft? Back to Lyle Alexander, she became the first African American female to be promoted to the rank of sergeant, and all of these African American females were promoted to lieutenant captain of the Washington State Patrol. I see some reason. We're going to give you a little more volume. Once again, she became the first African American promoted to the rank of sergeant, and the only African American female promoted to lieutenant captain in the history of the Washington State Patrol. Right. For that, I want to present, I should say director, I should say captain, of the Lyle Alexander.
Thank you so much, and thanks for allowing me to be here this morning. I always feel like after your bio, you almost do you guys like homework. But I still have more work to do, and I know that. I love the work I do. So again, thank you for inviting me today. And when I was invited, and it was opened up, like, how come whatever you want? Be careful. I might talk about football, I might talk about me, I might talk about beer, but no, I won't. I will talk about law enforcement. And I try to decide which order I want to share this, but I thought this information was very important for our profession. So I'll start off dark, and then we're going to lighten it up a little bit. I read this, and I read it in the beginning of the year, and I read it in the middle of the year, and I continue to read it because I do believe that our profession is in a place where we need to help each other and support one another in a better way. It says, there were 632 law enforcement deaths across the nation in 2021. Nearly 25% of those were self-inflicted. Basically, we are killing ourselves at a higher rate than the people on the street are killing us. COVID changed that a little bit. With COVID, we're 9%. That is a very, very high rate for our profession. I get it. It's hard. It's hard work. It's sad work. But we were never really taught. When I thought back on when I was in the State Patrol Academy, how much were we taught about emotional health and wellness? How were we taught about taking care of ourselves? And I don't think we were. I don't remember anyone saying it's okay to cry if you see a dead baby. It's okay to feel bad when you respond to a fatal collision and the whole family is dead. It's okay to feel bad about those things. I never heard that. It's basically suck it up, buttercup. You got the next thing to go to. And you never take care of that. So what that does to our bodies, as studies have shown us, is that it makes us vulnerable to a lot of things. Mental health issues, where we don't want to talk to people, we don't have any friends, nobody wants to be around us because we're such a drag. Or suicide, or strokes, or heart attacks. All of that stuff that we say we don't want, but all of that can be prevented. But we have to teach each other how to take care of one another. And we have to let people know it's okay to see a therapist. Like I said about work, it's not just to do that. No, we're not, actually. We need to talk to someone about things that most people never see, never experience. And we need to tell people it's okay when they have kids. That doesn't mean stop doing work. I love my job. I love being a trooper. I love the whole profession. And I didn't grow up wanting, obviously, right? But it's like, well, I didn't grow up wanting to be a officer. I never thought that was never what I was going to do. I decided to be a police officer after Rodney came. It wasn't immediately. It was after the verdict happened. It was after the riots in Los Angeles. So I just say that really fast if I don't forget. But I saw how what a very difficult space law enforcement was in. And right from the time, and it was the first time on that very grainy video that we really saw something horrible. We saw the results of something horrible. And so as I saw how the police responded, I saw Rachel Denny get pulled out of a cement truck and beaten half to death. I saw Titus Murphy run in and pick him up and get him back in the truck and get him to the hospital and save his life. It was so heroic. I thought I could be a part of the change that has to be seen. We have to see change. We have to see things get better. We can't just let everything go and feel like it doesn't matter. The community is trying to talk to us. The community is still trying to talk to us. And we have to learn how to listen. We have to learn. We are policing people, and we make decisions about people's freedom lives, and we have the authority to do that. But as a whole, our responsibility is to also listen. Our responsibility is to show up and not make a decision before we show up because we've been in that house before, or because that person has a glove box full of tickets. It's not. We still have to listen. It doesn't cost us anything. I get it. There are times when everything is happening immediately. We have to respond immediately, and that's fine. But when we can, which is most of the time, because we aren't like the show cops, we go to a lot of things that we can actually tone it down a little bit, slow down a little bit, and listen to our community. So my goal was always to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community. Some of the most fun I've ever had is joking with people on the road, or on the street, because I wanted to have that connection. It is not always possible, but we have to work towards it. The other thing that's happening right now, obviously, is a lot of people are leaving this profession. And we ask ourselves why. Why don't people want to do this work anymore? The good news is we have over 400 people at the academy right now. So there are people that want to do this job. And we have to encourage them. We have to embrace it. We have to look at this as an opportunity for change. Because right now it's kind of gloom and doom. And I was talking to Heidi, and Heidi's always positive, always happy. Kind of like Faye looks, has always been happy, always been positive, showed that every one of my promotions, thank you, Faye. All of a sudden, I look in the back and just with the camera taking pictures. And so the support that I have received from Faye is, that just kind of silent, sorry, that I have received from Faye has always been something. But the positive people in your department should be like, this is a time. It feels really sad right now because people are leaving for different reasons. Some of it's the vaccine mandate. Some of it's just like, I'm sick of this place, I'm tired of everything, I'm tired of this agency. I always remind police officers, we are the agency. We're the agency. If we all left, there's a building, there's no longer a police agency. So hold yourself accountable and responsible for the problems that are existing within your agency. I ran into a sergeant yesterday from the state patrol out of the academy, and I talked to him about 30 minutes. He's always been very, very, very smart, and also makes a lot of people mad because he says exactly what he feels. He never knows what he's mad. He never made me mad. I always thought it was funny, but I always pulled a nugget of information that I could use. 20 years ago, this is when I got promoted to sergeant. This sergeant came to my office, closed the door, and said, the thing that can ruin your career is a bad pursuit. Shut them down. Shut down those pursuits. I'm telling you, when somebody dies, everybody's gonna look at you, they're gonna blame you. You're a new sergeant, I wanna see you make it, shut down the pursuits. And what do we say now? Stop the pursuits 20 years later. So sometimes when we talk to people that we think don't know what they're talking about, they actually do.
And it's okay to listen to people that are on the lower level. And even if you just pull out some of the things they're saying may not make any sense and may not work for you. The same thing they're saying. The other thing is that technology is so much better now. We have to take this time to pause and think about how we're going to rebuild our visions. We have so many vacancies. We need more diversity in our organizations. It is lonely being the only one. I mean, it sounds good on paper, but the reality is you really don't want to be the only female or the only African American or the only person that you see that looks like you. And there are a lot of people out there. We have to start recruiting from different areas because technology can solve a lot of the crimes that we can't solve, or it might take us a lot longer. And we see what DNA is doing now. We find the family members we didn't know we had, and related to people we've got Irish in it. You know, you don't know these things, but now DNA and technology are telling you things. And we have to use it wisely. So as we rebuild, which we will rebuild these police agencies, police work is not going to go away. It is an admirable profession. It is a fun job. It is an opportunity to give back to your community every day. Every day you put on all that gear, you get to give back to the community that you love. So it's not going to go away. But what we have to do at this time is start thinking about how we want to rebuild. Where do we want to recruit from? What do we want our agencies to look like? Who do we want to leave behind when we move on and retire? Who do we want to fill those ranks? We want people from the community that will stay in the community, that love the community, that will serve the community. We can never forget this is a job of service. It's a job where we should be humble. We should serve with all the humility we can find, because that's what people want. Have you ever approached someone and met their anger with kindness? It is completely disarming. It is disarming. And if we think about how people are in the worst place probably in their life when they call the police, they are. That doesn't mean we are. They are. They're calling us for help. And we have to be able to help them. So when we start rebuilding these wonderful agencies that have so much to offer, because I just think about, and I mean, Bob told, I was a single mom, actually just becoming a single mom. My son was 3.5 years old. I had to go live at the State Patrol Academy because everybody had to live out there. Got to come home on the weekends. I'm juggling my son and the academy and trying to learn, and I did not know how to shoot a gun. I didn't even like shooting a gun, but I had to learn. There were so many things that weren't familiar to me. And I went to the academy. The State Patrol recruits from military. So you have all these military people, and so when you first get to the academy, they make you stand up and introduce yourself. You got to say sir or ma'am before everything else you say and after. And so everybody would stand up and say, sir, I'm Army Ranger, sir. I'm from the Marine Corps, sir. And I said, I'm from United Airlines, sir. Hi. So, now, there's a lot you need to teach me in these next 8 months, but I'm here for it, right? And so all of these things were happening. And people did not think that the flight attendant would make it, right? Don't underestimate people. Pick those people, right? Because on the airplane, I didn't have a gun, I didn't have a badge, what I like to call a background belt, didn't have any of that. I had an apron, I had some 5-inch pumps, and my in-flight service shoes, and I had a voice. And so de-escalation is what we did from here to Tokyo, from here to Taipei, from here to Hong Kong, from here to New York. That's what you do. So people can't see the correlation. And if you've never seen anybody angry, give them a bad haircut. Trust me, they are angry. You better hurry up and de-escalate, find some jail, and blood bar, throw an iron, and make it good. So I say that to say you don't know where your next captain, chief, lieutenant, sergeant, or officer is going to come from. But start looking for people that are willing to serve, that have a servant heart and leadership in their mind, but service in their heart. If they leave with their heart, they will treat people fairly. They will treat people with respect and never, ever try to rob people of their dignity. Because people's dignity truly means something to them, and it should. We have an opportunity here, and I am so excited to be a part of the opportunity. I am not discouraged. I am not disappointed when people say this is not a job for them any longer. Good. Let them self-identify and let's go find some more people. I'm sad about some of the people that have chosen to leave the profession because they were really good people, some of them. Some of them were like, okay, see ya. Okay, because they cause us a lot of problems, a lot of paperwork. But some that are leaving, it is very sad. But we have to get over our sadness and we have to move on. And we have to recruit earnestly, and we have to recruit people that are going to make this profession better. So please look at this as an opportunity to grow in the right way, to serve in a better way, and to always, always care about the community that means so much to all of us, or we would not go through what we have gone through to put on the uniform. I appreciate this opportunity. I will take questions if I have time. If I don't know about that. Yes, okay, thank you. I will take questions. I will try to have the answers. I brought some numbers with me in case you really want to know numbers. Does anybody have any questions?
What was your department again? I didn't hear.
Why weren't you the type of cop that we needed in the old days? I am so proud of you. If all cops believe in to protect and serve, you're wonderful. I'm so glad you did.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you tell us your title, please, and then what the function of your day-to-day operation?
My title right now, I'm the Executive Director of the Criminal Justice Training Commission. And as Bob said, we provide training to every police officer in the state. It is required to come to Erie to go to the academy. Unless you're a state trooper, then you go to Shelby. My day-to-day business is, oh boy, a lot. It is putting out fires on a regular basis. It is hiring staff because, as you all know, 5051 was passed. When 5051 was passed, it became a whole different ballgame. It tightened the reins on certification. It gave us the authority to investigate officers if an agency is not willing to do it. It also allowed us a little bit more leniency on taking away certification. And in this state, you have to be certified in order to be commissioned. So the agencies commission the officers, we certify them. They're a marriage. One can't happen without the other. We cannot certify someone that an agency hasn't hired and is willing to commission, and they cannot commission someone that we do not certify. Yes, sir.
One of the things that, yes, Lynn talked about, and as you head up the organization, can we start getting to a day where it is common practice to do more community policing? Is that going to be something? I just think of, I saw some young brothers standing out on the street, and one of the officers' car was there, and I took them over to the police car. They didn't know what I was doing, taking them to the police car, and I wanted them to go and sit in the police car. I let them turn black guys, and I let them turn on the siren. I let them turn on the lights that they had never done. But white kids get to do this all the time. They turn on it. That's Mitch Miles, Mr. Jefferson. They like calling me Mr. Jefferson because when they see me, you got a suit on. Mr. Jefferson, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, here. I said, this is your car. You are a taxpayer. You paid for this car. Is that right, officer? And the police officer had to tell him, yeah. I said, turn the lights on for them. They want to see the lights on. So, and then the police officer got into it. He started getting into it. And he said, oh, turn that button there, turn that. But now that he saw what I was doing, turn that button there. So he let him turn it, and then all of them had to turn the switch. Oh man, turn the switch, turn the switch. And they got to do it. But it was community policing. Suddenly the police weren't a mystery to these kids. It was, suddenly officer friendly became back. Suddenly these kids weren't good standing on the street. Can that be taught at where you are? I mean, as an overall thing that we teach all?
I think overall we try to speak to that, but I think that's more agency specific because the agency is the one that dictates how they interact with their community. communities. My goal is to talk to the leaders of agencies and speak about the importance of exactly what you're saying. You know, in state patrol, we had take-home cars and we signed in and out of service in our driveway. And one of the biggest thrills for my son was to stand next to my car when I was signing service, because obviously they would keep my number back. And so, you know, I'd say 4560 Seattle in service, 4560, he would just get such a kick out of that, right? Because he knew how the inner workings of it. And he said, I can tell they like you because they're smiling when they say your number back. And so that always made me happy, of course. Now, my son is now a Tacoma police officer, so I'm really proud of that. But the fact that what you're saying is so true, and my son used to take me to school for show and tell, and I bring my car, I bring my cat, and all those things. But we have to have more interactions like that, because our children are more afraid of the police. Historically, we have not engaged with the police. If you want to recruit people into these organizations, we have to remove the mission of what policing is really about. Because yes, community policing will save the bacon. Community policing, people will call you and tell you what's going on in the community. If you allow them to, if you know them, just like you walk up to them and take them to a police car and introduce them to a police officer, you're removing that fear that automatically exists, that I think we have to fix. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've noticed that there's a couple of police departments and other law enforcement organizations that have decided to develop what I call citizens advisory councils. I'm aware of some that have African American advisory councils, Hispanic, Latino, LGBTQ community. And the purpose of those councils is to sit down with the leadership of those organizations to give insights. Does your organization have such an effort?
We do not, because our purpose and our goal is to train the officers and then send them home. So we don't have as much, we have a board, we have 21 people on our position right now, which is amazing, because we have impacted family members, we have community members. It used to be predominantly law enforcement. 50-51 changed the makeup of the commission. And it really helps us because we do have kind of a little bit of a view into the community. We have to walk a fine line. We don't want to get in the way of the sheriffs and the chiefs, because that's just not the way to do it, right? We have to be respectful of what the boundaries are. But we do have a lot of community members that are very comfortable with calling me and emailing me and having very long conversations about community things.
Yeah, but what I'm suggesting is have a direct connection with those communities. And your organization have these advisory councils, so you can get their input. I know Faye Brooks is involved in one right now, and she could probably, you know, since the two of you are so well connected, kind of talk about that, because I think that would be a good thing to do. So I think you should consider that. And if you want to do that, I'd be willing to work with you.
And that would have to go through the commission as well. So there's 21 folks.
Not a problem.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? We have a question from the chat.
Okay.
It says, what needs to happen to expand criteria for being an officer? Process, age, profession, experience, MPA, BA, that type of thing. That was the question.
So are they asking to be more inclusive or be more restricted? Just for clarification, because right now you just have to have a GED to become a police officer.
Okay.
And I think criminal history has hindered some people from getting into this profession. What I'm kind of happy about is the way you're looking at some of the restrictions that we previously had. And that's what happens when you get into a place like where we are right now, where you're 400 people down, 200 people down, that's a lot. Even small agencies that if they have 10 officers and they're 2 down, that's a lot. And so I think that we are looking, I just got a call the other day, I sent out a survey because a lot of females were failing the push-up portion of the entrance exam for to be a police officer. And CHPC controls that. So we sent out a survey to try to see from agencies how many people are losing women in that phase. And let's be clear, that doesn't mean that women are weak, it means our bodies are built differently. Now, I don't know the last time any of us saw a police on the side of the road doing push-ups. And that isn't really a good test of strength. Because because I know the women that are extremely strong, push-ups just aren't their thing. So we have to move into where we really are right now. We need to judge this on 2022, and that's why I said, we have to think this differently. And this is why it's such an opportunity to change what we have been seeing in the past. I mean, we're working off of old playbooks. I mean, let's think about if, since I love football, if Pete Carroll used the same playbook today that he used 7 years ago or 8 years ago, right? Okay, maybe.
That is what's happening. Yeah,
But here's what I'm saying. We have to move with the time. We have to revisit our playbook. We can't just do it how we've always done it because it's not working. And we have to tell ourselves, we have to, again, even internally, we have to be humble enough to go, that's just not working. That was a great idea that I had 5 years ago. But now it's not working because we're not attracting people like we wish we could, like we need to. It's not happening. This is what I'm saying. I think I'm not studying. I'm just getting the hook. Yes.
So I've got 2 more questions from the chat. The first one is, what does the Seattle Police Department need to do to be better in recruiting more minorities?
Okay, so, I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so here's my thing. It is not just Seattle. Honestly, it's not just Seattle. Let's just talk about in general what we need to do. We need to start talking to people that don't look like us. And when I say that, and the State Patrol is notorious for this. We'd set up a recruitment group. We'd send out a couple of people that, were probably in the military and looked a certain way, because people are so surprised that the State Patrol hired me, but that looked a certain way, that presented like, buzz cut, and just had to look a certain way, how people are. And so they would watch all these people walk by, and they wait for that one. Hey, you look like you want to be a trooper, but all these other people that already walk by. Talk to everyone. Don't talk to just somebody. Talk to everybody, right? Don't talk to just the person that looks like you, that you're familiar with, that you're comfortable with. Talk to other people. You'd be surprised at the golden nuggets that exist within those people that you just don't know. Talk to the hotel staff. They take a lot of guff. They know how to de-escalate. Get very angry at hotel people. Talk to airline customer service people. Ooh, it gets bad for them. And you can offer a lot better benefits and a lot better life for them. I've never had so much time off as I did, accumulated, where you have to use it or lose it. Every year, you use it or losing it. Isn't that a beautiful thing? To have to take vacation? Yes. Okay, you said one more. Moving it this way, Bob.
Says the last question. Are there any laws that need to change? Does SPD make this known?
Oh, I'm sure there are. There are a lot of laws on the book. And here's what I will say. This is my parting comment about SPD has taken such a punch for probably the last 10 years. SPD has some of the best programs, some of the best people. Yes, they've lost a lot of people, but SPD for their time. I was looking at Heidi's pin, her lanyard, and she has a safe place pin. The State Patrol just started that. I think you guys tried it 15 years ago, right? Because you weren't afraid to say we are inclusive. They had an African-American, they supported Blue and Noble openly, not like, don't tell anybody you're doing, right? So SPD has done a lot of things, a lot of bold moves that I've always heard about. They had a gay and lesbian community kind of group within the organization in order to try and help people to feel and to belong. Those are big moves. So we have to give SPD credit where credit is due. And I personally recruited for SPD because I know they're a good agency. And as I was telling Heidi, this is such an opportunity. She's spreading herself super thin, but she's learning so much. And when it's time for an assistant chief Heidi, right? So be prepared. This is the time to prepare. It's just like the stock market. When everything drops, buy a lot. When it goes back up, you're rich. Thank you.
Monty's gonna close us out, but I wanna make 3 points, because I heard some questions and maybe I can help answer. I can't do better than Monty, but one thing, Explorer program, young men and women can join police Explorer programs and not only just turn on the lights and siren, they can do a lot more than that. Number 2, you as citizens, you can go to any police precinct, okay, or any sheriff station, make an appointment to see the commander in charge. If you have an issue, it doesn't have to be a complaint, if you have an issue. Lastly, if you'd like to work on the political side, every one of the departments in the city of Seattle has a council member that reports to that, or goes back and forth. So if you don't want to talk to the officers, you don't want to talk to the captain, you can go to, you can make an appointment with any city council person that's in charge of policing, for example. The same thing with the county. So there is an opportunity for your voice to be heard. Or you can do like Darren does and go out and ride the laws every Friday night. Now, that's one way. Anyway, thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to talk to you about a young man who graduated from Garfield High School, Mr. Student. After graduating from Garfield High School, went on to graduate from the University of Washington. Has 2 degrees, two areas of study. I can't remember the other one, he'll tell you. One of them is data analytics. And I'd like to have Mr. Adams come up and say a few words. This is the person I'm talking about. He's no longer a high school student. Make sure you tell him your major. He's working with Systems Consulting, which is another Breakfast Group member, Everett Adams.
All right, thank you. How you guys doing today?
Great.
Like Mr. Money said, my name is Leland Adams. I came to join you guys today on behalf of Everett Adams and Systems Consulting. Thank you so much. I just want to introduce myself and kind of get to know everybody. This is my first breakfast meeting here with you guys. Look forward to many more. I am, like Mr. Money said, a former Project Mr. student. I graduated from Garfield High School in 2018, and I will be graduating from the University of Washington, Tacoma on Monday.
Yay.
So my major is business administration, and I also minored in data analytics. So looking forward to using both of those skills to study at my new job. It's only my 3rd week. So y'all go ahead and take it easy on me. So still learning a lot. I'm very thankful to be a part of this community. Like I said, to be around for a long time.
So he didn't know he was going to speak, so he did a great job. I put him on the spot. But now I'm going to have Dr. Carter come up. He's going to say a few words about this, and then he'll close the meeting out. Thank you so much. And oh, by the way, all of our law enforcement and public service, thank you. We appreciate it. We know it's been tough times. And it's important. Thank you so much for your leadership and your compassion and your strength and intelligence and everything else. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So we'll do a really quick and brief update of Project Mister. But before I get started with that, on the tables, this magazine, there's one for everyone. This is the Northwest Black Pioneers magazine, which was put out approximately 20 years ago. Through a labor of love with CEO to CEO, we were able to recreate this magazine and update it just a little bit to include information that was left out previously, to make some corrections, an update or forward from Dr. Quintard Taylor. And then we also added a couple pieces in regards to the Breakfast Group, Project Mister, and a couple of other programs. These are free for everyone. Please take one home with you. We want to get the word out that we actually just got this yesterday, and we have been working on this since October of last year. It's an opportunity for us to showcase some of the Black pioneers from the Northwest area from the 1800s all the way through today. Now, why is this important for our Breakfast Group members? Is I always talk to them about the Sankofa bird, which flies forward while looking backwards. And if you do not have an eye towards your past, your future is always going to be fuzzy or cloudy. So it's really important for us to, in addition to talking to our students about life skills, skills for success, college readiness, career enhancement, we also need to have them look back on the rich history of the area where they live. So please take a copy with you. I believe as soon as we can get it organized, we will probably be putting some on sale on Amazon. Just keep in touch with us and we'll make sure to let you know. As a matter of fact, just keep taking a look at our website. We should have some information in regards to sales coming up fairly soon. This past year has gone pretty well, especially coming back from COVID. We really dealt with some challenges. But even with challenges this year, we had our first Taiwan in person in 2 years. Our goal was to have 300 participants, and we hit that right on the nose at about 301. We had a little over 100 students, and then we had additional participants to come in to make the fundraiser a really good success. And then with our All Achievers, we were able to give away 15 scholarships this year. So we're really proud of that work. This year, we added 2 new scholarships. The first one came from NWTEI, which was arranged by our breakfast group member, Mr. Nate Miles. And we certainly want to give him some applause for that. And then this year, we were also able to add a 4-year scholarship. This scholarship was put together by Horizon House. One of the breakfast group members who has passed away, Mr. Frank Jones, the organization wanted to pay homage to him and the work that he did in the community with the Horizon House and with the young Black and brown boys in the community. So they donated a scholarship for Project Mister in the name of Frank Jones and the Horizon House, and that scholarship will be paid every year for 1 student for 4 years. So definitely want to give them a round of applause. Now, this being our first meeting back here at First AME, we're really happy. We got off to a rocky start, but I think you have to overcome some adversity every now and then to appreciate all the good stuff that you really have. So even though we had some challenges this morning, we're here right now getting it together. So everyone give themselves a round of applause. Thank you so much. And last but not least, they're working on the kitchen, they're working on the ovens, but in spite of that, one of our sponsors, Arista Point, who conducted the CEO to CEO interviews, provided breakfast for us this morning. And so we are really, really happy that they're partnering with us and then looking forward to making sure that we're all being taken care of in the mornings. Maybe we'll get some grits next time. Coming up here in a little bit, with the Northwest Black Pioneers, actually CEO to CEO has recorded a program, and it is members of our community, members of the breakfast group, who are actually reading vignettes from this in a PBS style program. That is being produced now and should be out shortly. We'll make sure that we get that information out to everyone so that you'll be able to take a look at it. It's incredible. It is really incredible. So I'll answer any questions if you have any questions about Project Mister.
It's not about Project Mister.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, first of all, I think it was a great program. I really thank all of our law enforcement people who are here today. And I just have one suggestion, and I see a number of our brethren here. Dave Riker was a real friend of ours, and was one of the first ones that started coming here, along with Chief Brooks when she was there. So I really thank the King County Sheriff for coming here. It was mentioned, and I just ask that you might take this back as a suggestion. It was mentioned how we what was the word that you used? De-escalate. How you de-escalate situations. And as a small token of de-escalation, King County has taken that Martin Luther King County, the only Martin Luther King County in the country, is here in Seattle, for those who didn't know that. And every vehicle in King County has Dr. King's face on it. except the King County Sheriff cars. They don't have Dr. King's face on it. One of the things that I think would help is if the department would think about, because as you drive up to situations where there may be in the South End or out in Kent, in some of those areas, if they saw Martin Luther King roll up on the side of some of those spaces, it starts the de-escalation process to see Dr. King roll up into a highly volatile situation. Because it's as opposed to, hey, and the sheriff. It's just something to think about. I just noticed that it's been on my mind. I happen to see it. It's an idea that in years past, somebody like Chief Brooks, Sheriff Riker could take that, Sheriff Roar, and think, how do we work through this? It's just, it's a picture, but it means a lot to people to see Dr. King roll up versus the sheriff. I mean, that's why they took the crown off the side, because images play a big role. And it might be something we take back to the leadership and see if it's something.
Actually, images on all of our cars.
Think of it, take a look. Take a look. I don't think, I don't think, but I'll go back. because
Brother
I-
man send it here.
Yeah, no. It's not on the first problem that it has been done.
You issue a public.
I
Maybe it's just not. So
it
may not be noticeable enough.
Yeah,
Right,
no.
so we can definitely look at that.
Yeah.
And just as a side note, we actually are changing our patches as well as making sure that all our badges conform.
Okay.
The state of Washington seal, that's kind of the symbol, that's what we had for some time, but we still have crowns out there. So we're eliminating those. It's just taking a little time, and this is a project, so we're underway. That along the same kind of vein as what you're saying there, is to make sure that we're changing that image and moving away from that past.
That would be great.
Okay, another question?
I'm Tony Brooks, I'm a barber, and
Speak of the water.
I'm Tony Brooks Jr., I'm a barber. And I just heard what you just said, and as somebody that's been on both sides of the coin, just as well as seeing our the King Jr. states on the police front, but also see the states on court documents or being sentenced for things like that. And I've changed my life and turned it around, so to say that that's gonna de-escalate the situation, to see that you see the states on the side of the police car, it doesn't make sense. Because our King stood for peace and equality, making sure that everybody had a fair chance to fight. And it's been implemented by his skin, by the context that's part of his character. So my question is, seeing that there's certain people in this room how summertime's coming up, every time I watch the news, every night there's something crazy going on. There's maybe 7 more shootings going at least a couple times a week. So I know your son's a life line, thank you for that. My thing is that you guys are empowered as people that are instrumental in those positions of power. What are you guys gonna do to try to curtail the crime that's going on? You know,
People need to be able to have resources, to be able to work, to be able to have jobs, to be able to create economic development in the community. So what are you guys going to do when summertime is getting ready to come? It's going to be here and the sun comes out. The youth tend to act a certain way in Seattle because they don't have the guidance and the structure that they need. So putting resources together, being able to implement a structure to help them, give them a chance to do something different. How do you guys do that? You know, what do you say when people keep getting in trouble and they're locked up and we're going through COVID and recession's coming and everything is inflated right now. So if you don't go to college or if you don't have a job or if you're coming from a single parent household, you end up becoming a product of your environment. How do you guys change that? How do you apply for the prosecutor position, seeing that there are so many young African American men and women, just minorities in general, being slipped through the system? How do you change that? You know, if you're gonna apply for that position, and you guys are in positions of power, you should make sure to take that position of power seriously. So that way you can stop it, you can curtail things and put a stop to it, you know?
So brother, you have a very complex question. No, it's okay, but it's actually more of a conversation for us to have offline. Definitely, there are people in this room who can provide you with information on who you can call to answer the myriad of questions that you have. And unfortunately, at this time, we have to dismiss some of the folks so they can get back to work. So I'm not to dissuade you from what it is you're asking, but definitely make sure that you take down some information, some telephone numbers, some emails, so that you get some answers to go to the questions that you ask.
I totally heard everything you said, you know?
Yes.
Jason, could the King County Prosecutor's Office, could they address just a little bit what he's talking about?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that I feel is so important is we as a criminal justice system absolutely have to share our data. We have to be transparent in our decision making. We have to root out the implicit bias and the racial disparity. But we can't do that by ourselves. We have to do it with community. We have to hold ourselves accountable to the community. And the other thing that I really believe in and that I've been working for is building pipelines. I really think that young people need that pipeline opportunity. And it could be through the prosecuting attorney's office. We've long had a high school intern program. We've had some young men from the breakfast group come and work for us. It's also a pipeline into the trades. And that means for people who are in high school, because our state's truancy laws are designed to play out in Superior Court. And long ago, I worked with the courts and the school leaders to say, we're going to put a hold on those petitions and keep kids in school. That doesn't always mean that they graduate with a degree. It might be a GED and they go on to a different opportunity because every kid is different. But we know that when you drop out of high school, young people are 8 times more likely to go into prison, not just the criminal justice system, but into prisons. We have to keep young people in school. And then when we have people who are leaving, we have to have opportunity for folks, right? I believe in redemption. I don't think any of us are the sum of our worst mistakes. So yes, we have work to do in this system. Absolutely have work to do. And I won't pretend otherwise.
That's good.
Hey, that's what this is, next.
All right. Everyone, thank you for attending, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
James, still got at least one more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also, Kirby also.
I'll use just 69 seconds. Okay, I'll do 59 seconds. Public service announcement. First of all, welcome back. It is good that we have this opportunity to come together and do what we have done for years, and that's meet in this historical place. First day of meeting was begun in 1886. Do your history. The state of Washington became a state in 1889. We were here before the state of Washington was officially a state. The one thing that I like to always say when I have an opportunity is that if you want to reduce fear, if you know your name, you can introduce yourself to someone else. And the beauty of the month of June is that law enforcement joins the breakfast group, and we get an opportunity to put a name with a face and a face with a name. Whether we've ever met you before, and it's good to have us all here. I miss many who didn't get an opportunity to be here, but there is another opportunity. Labor Day weekend, September the 4th, always the first Sunday in September. The Roots Picnic will return this year, and it is the 50th anniversary. Roots stands for Relatives of Old Timers Seattle. We have always had representatives from the Sheriff's Department, from the Washington State Patrol, from the Seattle Police Department, and anywhere and everywhere in between. This year, we will represent one of our own. Deputy Chief Faye Brooks is being honored this year. I'm at 40 seconds.
The invitation is out. Some of you can take it back because you were here. Let's extend it to everyone. I want to see again. We want to see again representatives from the Seattle Police Department, the Sheriff's Department. We did it in person. We've even talked about having the helicopter return, the Washington State Patrol. Because the one thing that happens, the fire department will be there. And we look forward to having representatives from the prosecuting attorney's office. In the very beginning, that was a collaboration that helped to cement this gathering. Everyone is welcome. There is no admission. Again, my mantra is, if you want to help reduce fear, and you know your name, you are capable of introducing yourself to someone else. And when we know each other's name, we can always begin a dialogue. I memorized the faces of everyone in this room. I expect and I look forward to seeing you on September the 4th, anytime after 9:30 Sunday morning. The only excuse is I was at church, we'll be taking attendance, and so you can get there at any time after 1 o'clock. Thank you for that.
I'll be very brief. My name is Reverend Herbert Martin. I was able to attend, about a month ago, we had the national group going out for reparation. And the good news here, we in the city of Seattle got the report that we had more elected officials than any other city throughout they've been doing this for 2 years now. And we're gonna have in a month, we're gonna have an update of what's going on. In Evanston, Illinois, delivered the first $25,000 to the citizens who are getting ready to buy homes in Chicago or whatever. So reparation is alive as well. It's at the local level, it's at the state, and it's going throughout the nation. That's just a quick update. Larry was not here. We had some of the other brothers who was there, myself, and but that's it. Thank you very much, and we'll keep you posted.
Good. Quickly, 2022, 2022 Seattle Area Kappa's Memorial Golf Scholarship Tournament. August 20th, I was hoping that Breakfast Group would be one of our sponsors. And if Noble wants to be a sponsor, I'm gonna get that check from Noble. No, you do, so we're just gonna get it from you. But we're looking forward to it. Nate been talking trash about the Sigmas and all that, so get your group, get a foursome.
Multinational scholarship golf tournament.
Yeah.
Some of them would go, but since she said Kappa.
Well, if you're scared, go to church. But we're looking, it's a wonderful opportunity to collaborate with other like-minded groups doing the same work. So come on out. I have the paperwork. Bob has the sponsorship stuff. Let's get that done. Nate been talking trash about his little foursome, but you know, I don't see the 2 Sigmas in here, so I don't know how y'all gonna put folks.
Wednesday at 8 o'clock, there's a prayer vigil on the serious.
All right, folks, we're getting ready to shut down because we've got a little bit of cleaning up to do. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will be in contact with everybody real soon. Everybody have a great afternoon.
Right on, Brother James. Take care.
All right. All right.
We're just gonna close out. I'll ask the policy a few words.